And not only to promote a more rapid commercialization, it's because if they begin to test that as a drug, so on the long term, it is not beneficial anymore. Because to assess a seed like a drug, this will not be beneficial in their hands. That's what they say. Because it costs 150 million euro to put a new drug on the market, and they cannot afford that for one seed. Because one seed lasts only 4 years in the market because of the renewal of the seeds. So the benefit of the system lies on the holes of assessment on health. And, of course, on environment, which is the very little sister of health. So we have published the reason of the debate, and they said, well, this is about 3 impact factor on a scale of 5, you know. It's not enough. It should be in Science or Nature, in very big reviews that they control. If you want us to take into account that. But they don't even publish their stuff. They don't even put that in the scientific papers. But they dare to say that it's not enough for them, the scientific papers that publish the contrary that they say. So we have published what are the present regulatory assessments. For instance, only 2 doses, too many reference groups or control groups, 320 rats on 80 eating GMOs, etc. We have published the improvements proposed, and we have published the main consequences if the improvements are not applied, that is long-term chronic effects like the disease for which you have all put the hand up. So our hypothesis today is that the combined effects of pesticides and GMOs give long-term cumulative exposure and, during sensitive periods of life, chronic effects. And this will not be seen with the present assessment of GMOs, which are designed to contain toxic products like pesticides, and that can even have, by the genetic modification, side effects. It is not serious in the 21st century to say to people that it is good and not being able to give that more than 3 months to rats. I mean, it will be a scientific shame for centuries. Let's think about what will think the 2nd or 3rd generation, if it exists, if we give a good climate and a good biodiversity so that we will have some kids and some very small kids and several generations to come. What they will say, well, these people in the 20th century, at the beginning of the 21st century, they say that GMOs are good, but they were not able to give that more than 3 months to rats. How come they could have seen the effects? And all that was secret, you know. It was secret, and all the companies didn't want to show the blood analysis. But they didn't find that stupid. They didn't even request that in the debates. What are the world in which we are living? Next slide. So the effects that we see today on liver and kidneys, which are the detoxifying organs, are very well explainable by the pesticides. It can be also the effect of the genetic modification. We cannot choose. But the pesticide can already explain the effect, which are inside the GMOs. I will very rapidly show you that the Roundup creates the effects on embryonic cells. And we have published that. And that will be available for you in the slides and in the papers that I've given to Friends of the Earth. For instance, the Roundup kills the embryonic cells at very low levels where you find that in GMOs here. But the thing that was tested by the company, the glyphosate, doesn't kill because the Roundup is a mixture of complex compounds. They overlooked that. See the embryonic human normal cells, and they are desiccated at levels where it's not even herbicide. So you know this Roundup product, which is the major herbicide that you can buy, It's an embryo-cide before being an herbicide. Next slide. So we've published that in a lot of scientific papers. Next slide. And we have detailed the mechanism of action, so we know it's not magic. Next slide. Next slide. So we have seen that it was killing the sexual hormones. It was diminishing the sexual hormones and their actions. Next slide. Okay, you can continue. So, in conclusion, GMO, it's a new organism. You need chronic tests with mammals, labeling and traceability, and overall full transparency on crude data. What I will suggest to the Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Agriculture of Latvia is to request the transparency on blood analysis, because this is in accordance, in agreement with the Directive 201/18 of Europe, Article 25. You should have transparency on blood analysis for the GMOs. So request that on the website before, and then make a big debate with all the medical doctors in Latvia, all the people taking care of health and environment, to say, can we authorize these products if we have an explained effect on the blood? But first you need to see the blood analysis. It's not magic. You need to see the blood analysis of the animals that have eaten these products before. So this is what was done in Philippines for the BT brinjal. This was what done in India. So we have other examples in the world. This was done in India. That's why they stopped BT brinjal. Next slide. So they saw this toxicological study with this kind of blood analysis. Next slide. Next slide. I will go fast now. Next slide, please. And in conclusion, I mean, we will be the real children of the earth when we will be able to have transparency on what we do. We have modified the earth in such a major way. You know, we have modified biodiversity, climate. We have taken all the fresh water, almost. We are taking all the green land. So we are finishing the oil. We are making a lot of transformation of the world. Please, before changing the hereditary patrimony of all living species that we are eating, please, just request the blood analysis of the poor rats that have eaten that during the shortest time possible that was made by the companies, only 3 months. And then you will see. It's very simple. Thank you very much.